Well, hey folks, my name is Brad, and today I find myself deep in the forest of Vermont, and this particular property is absolutely covered with old stone walls and the stone foundations from the folks that used to live up here. Now, the history of this place is that it was a farming community towards the end of the 1800s, but by the early 1900s, it was totally abandoned and hasn't been used since, except for some logging done in the last 50 years. And today I brought my metal detector to see what maybe we can find in the ground that they may have lost. Now, if this is one of my first videos that you've seen, I post one of these every single Friday. So if you like what you see today, consider subscribing or just swing on by next week. I'm gonna get started and see what we can find. Well, I have been on a roll the last couple months with finding sealed containers from a long time ago, opening them up and finding nothing inside. Maybe this one will be different. I cannot tell how old it is. I pulled the plug out like this. It was basically sitting just like this, and I rubbed the back. It looks like there is some script on the back. If it's an R, it does appear to be plated, whatever it is. So I don't know. We're gonna open this up together and just hope that it's full of silver dollars and gold coins. Enough waiting. Let's open it up. Oh, it's a cup. It's broken. No gold coins. There could have been coins inside of it, I guess. I don't know if maybe you can see that, but it does look like a K with an S, two S's. I'll do my best at home to try to figure out who made it and therefore when it was made. I'm going to guess not 1800s though. Probably more like 1920s, 30s, 50s. Not sure. No gold coins or silver dollars this time. Sounds like there should be something in there though. Maybe next time. Telescoping cup. That's a first. Well, bells are not a super uncommon find up here in the mountains of Vermont because of the sleighs and the wagons. I wouldn't say I find a crotal bell every single time I go, but they're common enough. But I just found a little jingle bell that I think is the smallest, not only have I ever found, but that I've ever seen. This is just absolutely tiny. Nice big square loop here. Unfortunately, it's broken. A quarter of it is gone, but we know what it is, a beautiful little jingle bell. These would have been attached just by string or thread, and then of course, they would fall off every once in a while, get stepped on. Usually they're about twice this size. I'm going to have to go home and compare this one to my other ones. I've probably got 40 or 50 of them now. But this is unique because it's so small. That's a nice one. Wish it wasn't broken, but still happy with that. Well, I got a target on my metal detector that was a low 80, like an 83, 84. I dug it up and it appears to be, lost it, a small cent. Now, given this location, what I know about it, it could be an Indian head penny, it could be a wheat penny, or it could have been dropped 20 years ago. Let's take a look at it, find out, see how old it might be. I already got my water out here. As of right now, not sure. Let's check the other side. Indian head penny. Nice. Yep. Now this is pretty crusty, so I'm not sure we're going to get a date. Yeah, you know what? Some of this crusty corrosion seems to be rubbing off to reveal maybe a nice little green coin underneath. I think I can read the date. I think it might be actually 1880. Something like that. And that's great. A coin older than 100 years old. Been in the dirt for probably about that long. It's a good start. Well, this is certainly a first for me. I've found a ton of padlocks in my time out here. Some of them very old. This one, I'm gonna guess, is from the late 1800s. Looks like it would have been a solid brass construction, except for the steel shackle, of course. But take a look at this. You can see this is where the shackle would have been. Am I wrong in thinking this was shot? Is this a bullet hole? That's wild. Now, we could speculate all day about why somebody would shoot off a padlock. Mind automatically goes to nefarious reasons, right? Getting into something they shouldn't. But who knows? Maybe the original owner lost their key. Maybe people were just having fun target shooting and happened to have an old padlock. That's interesting. Evidence of an old crime. I don't know. What an awesome display piece this is. Old padlock shot open. Was it on a building? Was it on a fence? Was it on a chest? Really makes your imagination run wild. That's a cool find. My favorite so far today, for sure. Well, it is the middle of July. It is quite warm out here today. And I told myself before I came out here today to keep an eye out for bears because the berries are almost peak and they're going to be out here gorging themselves. And I actually had to walk under some power lines to get to the backside of this landowner's property today, and I ran into one. There he goes. He's running, he must smell me. But luckily the bears up here in the mountains of Vermont are generally scaredy cats, so this one ran off. But the reason I'm talking about the time of year, maybe you can see all of these oak leaves on the ground, it seems like every 2 steps I'm seeing one of these. And this is an oak tree gall. Now obviously I didn't find these with my metal detector, but the reason I'm talking about them is because back in colonial times, 19th century, these could be ground up to make ink, writing ink. And it kind of makes me imagine 150, 200 years ago, maybe it was one of the kids' jobs to run around and pick up as many oak tree galls as they could find, sell, or turn into ink themselves. And if you didn't know, there's a species of wasp that comes and lays their egg inside this. And then once it's grown up, it flies off and then these fall off the tree. Kind of interesting, both from a nature standpoint as well as historically, folks collecting these and making ink. All right, let's go see if we can find something with a metal detector and watch out for more bears. So today's been an interesting day because I keep finding things that are common things that we would find at a place of this time period, but they're all just slightly unique in their own way. And this one is no exception. It's a suspender clasp, I think, but it's really unlike one I've ever seen before. It has this kind of peculiar swivel. Looks like there is text down there, which hopefully we'll be able to read in a second. And this side, I'm not sure if this is like an enamel. There seems to be something in the center. I've got my water and a toothbrush here ready to clean it off and see if maybe we can get to the bottom of this. Maybe it isn't a suspender. That's just what I assume. So I'm not quite sure if that is the letter B or if it's just kind of a interesting kind of deco design. But this appears to be some kind of maybe mother of pearl. And there is writing right there, but it is just too small for me to make out here. So I'll throw that up on the screen once I'm able to read it. But this is a very interesting design. I do think it kind of goes like this now that I'm getting a better look at how the mechanics of it work. These ridges on this part that actuates and locks something into place. That's a very pretty find. Not 1800s, I wouldn't guess. I have to assume this is more into the 20s and 30s, but maybe that writing will confirm that. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Never found anything quite like that before. Well, one thing I always say in videos is I'm going to double check this hole and then I'm going to move on, search some other areas. And sometimes I don't always practice what I preach, especially when I have cameras out. I have 2 cameras going and my lav mic and I get all this stuff picked up. Sometimes I just wander off. And this is where I found that Indian head penny about 2 hours ago. I swung my coil over and there's another target down there. So I have to assume it's another low 80 target. I have to assume it's another Indian head scent. The plug is still in the hole. Maybe you can see right here. I try to do my best, even in the woods, to make it seem like I wasn't here. So I'm just gonna pull this plug back out and I'm going to check with my pinpointer. I might have to do some more digging. It's over here. So just outside my plug, I am gonna have to dig a little bit. It's another coin. Again, I'm gonna have to assume another Indian head penny. That's what it is. So it was a little pocket spill, coin spill. This one is in considerably worse shape. The back isn't too bad, but the face, not so much. Not sure we're going to get a date off of that one. And nothing else with the pinpointer. Once I pick up the cameras, turn everything off, strap them back on me, I'll check with my metal detector again. And if there's more, I'll certainly let you know. But, you know, it always makes me wonder how people lose multiple coins all in one spot. Was it a hole in the pocket type situation? Was it they were in their pocket and they reached in to pull something else out, like their pocket knife, and they fell out? Probably never imagined anybody would ever be able to retrieve them. But here we are, 2022, living in the future, finding gold coins in the dirt. Well, I just got a beautiful target on the metal detector. It wasn't quite 90, so I didn't get the cameras out ahead of time. Here it is. No idea what it is. It's a brass cylinder of some kind with some slits along the sides. But as I was sitting here, cleaning it off, I'm always looking around, looking at the ground, and I spotted, without the help of my metal detector, this right here. I'm not sure you can see it from this angle, but it's just in the rocks. That is awesome. No idea what this is, but I'm glad I took the time to dig that so we could find this. Now, looking at this, I wasn't quite sure how old this might be because it is in relatively good shape and it was not under the ground, but the nails here are square-headed. So it leads me to believe, if not the late 1800s, at least the very early 1900s. And, you know, what did this go to? Was it on like a travel trunk? I think that it's too heavy duty to be a drawer. Maybe it went like this. Maybe it was on an exterior door. I don't know, but that's going to get mounted to my treasure room wall. So I've said in multiple videos in the past, I will set the cameras up ahead of time for digging a target if the ID on my metal detector is above 90, because that's generally big pieces of brass and coins made out of copper and silver. And this one was an 89. I probably should have got the camera set up because I believe it is a coin. I took the plug out, which is right here, and I could see it. It's kind of sticking out right here. You can see a rim of what I believe is a large copper coin. Flip it out together. certainly the right size and thickness. Wow, it is very heavy and thick. That was Eddie on my phone. We've started filming the new series, the follow-up to DeGrau, and he's sending notes on the footage we've already filmed. That's all I'll say. This is the 1 cent side, and this is the bust side. It is very difficult to see, especially in this light. So when I get home, I'll take some nice pictures, try to get it cleaned up to the best of my ability. Usually with these old copper coins, there really isn't a whole lot of cleaning up to do. Just get the loose dirt off and hope that the detail is there. But a little beat up, but an old copper coin, and one that I am more than pleased with. All right, folks, well, I've had enough. Mosquitoes are out in full force today. I've got my bug spray and my thermocell going, but it hasn't been helping. So I'm going to pick up my stuff and start hiking out of here. But first, let's take a look at all of the things I found today. A very eclectic, interesting haul today. Old stuff, relatively newer stuff. A few pretty exciting things. Let's take a look. So starting in the way back, we have our shot out padlock, and would you believe, not too far away, I actually found a complete one. Shackle still intact, still locked, and as it turns out, it is a Yale Shamrock Design Y and T. I believe these are from the early 1900s. Why this one was shot out and this one is complete, no idea. A piece of a lamp part here. We have our telescoping cup handle, whatever this tube happens to be. Fragment of a spoon, tiny little crotal bell, 1, 2, 3 buttons. This is a part of a pocket watch, a couple musket balls. I'm not really sure what to call this, if it's a suspender or if it's a sash buckle or if it's a brooch, not sure, but it's beautiful, and that might be my favorite find of the day. And then in the center, our 3 cents. 2 Indians that were in the same hole, and a large cent, which unfortunately, as it's drying out throughout the day, is falling apart. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to identify the date on that, but I'll do my best. A day well spent. This thing, so cool. All right, folks, well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to start hiking on out of here. Hopefully, I'll see you back up here in the mountains of Vermont next week.